Good afternoon, people. This is Juju, and I'm back with something new. Now, today's video, we're going to go over our RU and NU draft picks for the WPCL Season 1. Today's video is going to be a little different from yesterday's video. Uh, Yesterday's video was hype. I was hyper. There was a whole lot of cussing. Which is great. Being hyped about something is always good. But I don't even think I said my name in the last video. So so yeah. I mean, you probably thought my name was like Samuel L. Jackson. And I was tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. But today was just gonna be a little bit more mellow, a little bit more mellow jello. We're gonna talk. We're gonna get through these picks. We're gonna do it. So let's get to it. With our first RU draft pick, we picked up Osiris, our Kofagrigus. Um, Coffee Grigus is he's a great defensive mon. One of the main reasons I actually drafted Coffee Grigus, let's just call him Osiris. One of the main reasons I actually drafted Osiris was because one of the teams in the WPCL, one of the coaches, Goblin, he actually drafted Mega Metacham, which, fun fact, he stole from me. Mega Metacham is one of my favorite megas, and that's who I was anticipating drafting as my mega, actually. But, things happen. So he ended up getting Mega Metacham. And I remember during my prep, one game that I had a Mega Metacham, and the other team had a Kofagrigus, and it's really not a good matchup for Mega Metacham. There's not a lot Mega Metacham can do to a Kofagrigus. I mean, it has pure power, but obviously it can't hit it with any fighting type moves. So if it goes for HJK and I get it on the switch, then it's taking 50%, and it doesn't want to hit Coffee Grigas really at all because once it does, it loses pure power and gets mummy. So Coffee Grigas is like it's a pretty decent check to Mega Metachan, which there isn't many out there. So that's one of the main reasons I drafted it, and its defensive stats amazing. It's nothing to sniff at. Its ability is awesome. It basically, if it whatever makes physical contact with Kofagrigus loses its ability and gets the ability Mummy, which is awesome. And then its special attack and special defense is pretty great. Um, this is good. Look for this to be a defensive wall this season. Also, shout out to the artwork. Look at the artwork. First of all, I can't draw at all, so none of this shit's from me. But this artwork is beast. So that being said, let's go ahead and go on to our next pick. Our next RU pick was Alomomola. Um, Alomomola, it's hard to take down. People underestimate this thing. It's a cleric. It's a wish passer. It has regenerator. Like it's just annoying. Like Alomomola, it's annoying. It can take a lot of the bigger hits from the bigger threats and then just wish it off. And then you can bring it in as a cleric. Uh, Take a Draco Meteor from I don't know, Curum or Hydreigon, switch right back out, give Regenerator, then switch another Mon in. Like it's great. It's just a great kind of pivot cleric type of Mon. Um, it's with its 165 HP, it sends on bulky wishes, so you can bring it in wish pass to something that's one of your threats that's weakened. Just a great Mon to have on your team. Then I had just a couple of interesting notes. Alomomola is a palindrome, which means it's spelled the same way frontwards and backwards, in case you didn't realize that. It's Pokemon Dex entry. It gently holds injured and weak Pokemon in its fins. Its special membrane heals their wounds. So this boy is just like swimming around the sea. Like basically, he's like a EMT. He's like a medic. So it was pretty cool. And then Cura, which I decided to nickname my Alomomola, just means it's cure in Italian. So I thought that was pretty neat. Let's go ahead and move on to our last RU pick. Our last RU pick is going to be Pumbaa, our Embor. Basically, Embor is run as a wall breaker. Typical sets are going to be something like Reckless with the Choice Band and Flare Blitz. Um, its abilities are Blaze and Reckless, but most of the time it's going to be Reckless. Basically, what Reckless does is it ups the power of moves that give recoil damage, such as Wild Charge and Flare Blitz. So basically, what you want to do is if you can get Embor in on a safe switch, um, then you can go ahead and Flare Blitz something, and whatever it is usually isn't going to want to take the hit or like the hit very much at all. Um, it also gets Wild Charge, like I said. So um, if you get this thing on a switch, most of the time, if your opponent has a water type, it's going to want to switch in that water type. And if you can predict that switch, basically have the goal to predict that switch, you can hit Wild Charge and deliver a big blow and potentially take out their water types to just allow Embor to have free reign with Flare Blitzes from then on. Stats are pretty neat, pretty good. It's HP stats 110, attacks 123, and then special attacks 100, which is decent as well. Um, there's some variations of inboard that are like run defensive with Willow Wisp. We might explore some of that. But basically, for the most part, inboard is a wall breaker. It's basically like a guided missile. You point him to what you want to take down, and he does the job. But with that, that's going to be our last RU pick, and we're just going to go ahead and jump straight into NU. Our first NU pick is going to be Mystique, our Ditto. Shout out to the boy A Drive. He actually names his Ditto Mystique, and I really couldn't think of. I don't think there's a better nickname for Ditto, so I just had to copy it. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. There's not much to say about Ditto. The main reason you want to draft Ditto is for like it's basically a choice scarf set. If you predict if like your opponent has a mon that is a threat, if it sets up, typically you can bring a Ditto with a choice scarf and prevent that or try to negate it. For instance, like a dragon dancing for alligator, it gets a DD up, knocks out one of your mons. Then you send Ditto in, and it outspeeds for alligator and hits it first, and you know wins the matchup typically. Another good situation is like I believe one of the coaches drafted actually my week one opponent drafted Mega Altaria, which likes to DD up and Cotton Guard and different stuff like that. So if I were to choose to pick or to bring Ditto week one with Choice Scarf, he DDs, I send in Ditto, Hyper Voice, Outspeed, kill it. Good game. So that's basically what Ditto does. It puts the brakes puts the brakes on sweepers. Then I have a couple images here. Um, the first one on the left is pretty sweet. It looks like the artist's name is Travis Orems. I really like this artwork. I thought it was pretty sweet. And then on the right, I have just a meme I found. It's 5 minutes into daycare and chill, and he gives you this look. Of course, Ditto mates with anything. So I thought that was pretty funny. That being said, let's go ahead and move on to our second NU pick. Our second NU pick is Dijkstra, our Kecleon. Dijkstra comes from Witcher 3 as well. Basically, the character Dijkstra in Witcher 3 is a spy, and I like the name Dijkstra. It just sounds nice. So I named my Kecleon that because he's he can change into any type basically. So he's kind of like a spy. Um, For abilities, of course, Kecleon has color change and Proteant. For the most part, you want to run Proteant, which Proteant does is any move that Ditto uses, it changes into that type. So there's a lot of mind games that you can do with that. Ditto's a normal type by trade. Your opponent switches into a fighting type, and you can use Shadow Claw. So on his predicted fighting type move. So if you use Shadow Claw, then you're a ghost type. He goes for HGK or another fighting type move and it doesn't work. So there's a lot of mind games that's involved in Kecleon, and I hope to use it to its full potential this season. Then I have his abilities, stats, and move pool. That's just a couple moves from his move pool, just to kind of give you an idea of all the types. a Ditto could potentially switch into. And then I have the graphics in the background. Um, what I'm what a lot of people forget or sleep on Ditto is like its special defense. That's 120 special defense is nothing to sniff at. You wouldn't look at it and think it was a specially defensive mon, but it actually is, and I thought that was pretty awesome as well. With that, we're gonna go on to our last mon we're gonna go over today, and our last NU pick. Our last NU mon we're gonna go over today is Exodia, our Dust Noir. Now, last definitely doesn't mean least in this case. Dust Noir is actually one of my favorite mons, and one of the biggest reasons that I think I'd have to say that Gen 4 is my favorite generation. It's just the generation I spent the most time in, I believe. I have in Gen 4, I naturally bred my Dust Noir as well as a couple other mons to level 100. So that's a lot of time and effort I put into this mon. Um, so I really like it. I really like its diverse move pool. I didn't put it on the screen, but it learns a lot of good coverage moves. But of course, what the first thing I guess that draws you to a mon is its design. And Dust Noir's design is it's amazing. Like it it like captivates me. Like its mouth on its stomach and its eye is just really an interesting mod that I find really cool and I really wanted to use. So I put a lot of time and effort into it, and its stats doesn't hurt it, that don't hurt either. So, but of course, I have its stats on the screen, and then its abilities. It has two really good abilities in Frisk and Pressure. Of course, Pressure makes the opponent use twice the amount of PP when it uses a move. With Frisk, it can be used very strategically. Basically, when I switch Dust Noir in on a Pokemon, it frisks that Pokemon for its item. So it's a good strategy to where, oh, I wonder if this is a Choice Scarf, blah, 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 or I wonder if this is a Life Orb, blah, blah, blah. Like, I wonder what set this mon's running. And I switch Dust Noir in, and then it frisks it, gives me a lot of information, really helps out in the tides of battle, I guess you could say. Then, of course, has pretty decent stats on the attack and defenses. Other than that, it's pretty slow. But I mean, I in the past I've used Dust Noir pretty effectively. I like to think. Then I have its Pokemon Dex entry up right above it. It says it is said to have to take lost souls into its pliant body and guide them home. So basically, Dust Noir is like the gatekeeper. This mon's pretty sick. I really like it. Really like the design. Shout out to Dust Noir. But with that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. We're gonna go over our last couple slides. Call it a day. All right, this is our second to last slide, and this is going to be our roster, our full roster for the WPCL Season 1. These are your Green Bay Garchomp. These are all our picks on the screen. This is our complete team. I'm excited. I can't wait to get into my first battle. Can't wait to team build for my first opponent. Just really pumped, excited for the season, guys. Please leave a like or comment. If you like the video, comment. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you think about the team. What we could, what pieces you might switch out, or what sets ideas you have, or what have you. But with that, we're gonna go ahead and get into our last slide, which is basically just our cite our sources, of course. This is just our page with some of the sources we used in compiling this slideshow. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate the love and support. Like I said, if you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe if you're new. We're gonna be doing a lot. Of Pokemon related content. I can't say daily, but if you guys keep watching, I'll keep bringing what I got. Other than that, you guys have a good afternoon. Thanks for watching. This is Juju, and I'm out.